Up next, as I promised, we have Deborah Ahenkrah from the Golden Baobab Prize, and she's here in studio to tell us all about it. But before I turn to her, let's take a look at her profile, and we'll be back to continue this interview.
So my name is Deborah Ahenkrah, and I'm the co-founder of the Golden Baobab Prize, which is an initiative whose goal is to transform the children's literary landscape across Africa. So we believe that every child everywhere, anywhere in the world deserves the opportunity to relevant content that relates to the experiences. So the same way a kid in the United States will get up and watch a movie that talks about the experiences or read a book that reflects who they are, is the same way a kid in Ghana should pick up the book and read it and be able to see things that relate to who they are. So the goal of the Golden Baobab Prize and the foundation behind it is to propel and stimulate the children's literature industry on the African continent. People that we will reach are plentiful, so we will reach teachers who will finally have great content that they can use to teach young people that is relevant to the experience. We will reach parents on the continent and abroad who want to teach their children about who they are. Finally, they'll have books that will help them to do that. We will reach children themselves who will have the joyous experience of being a child and reading about it yourself. So instead of reading about Nancy Drew, who's a girl detective in I don't know, somewhere in Connecticut, you can read about Isaka, who is this boy, or in Nima, who has all these antics that he does. So yeah, and writers. So in the first year, for instance, one of the people who was shortlisted, when she heard that she had been shortlisted, she's a children's librarian. She's never written anything before. When she heard that she'd been shortlisted, she just sat down and broke down into tears because a dream has finally come true for her. So such people also will be affected. Also are the companies who will soon be supporting us. If you hear us and believe in what we're doing, they also have the opportunity to join a truly revolutionary initiative and be able to hold up their heads and say that, we're proud to have done something that has truly changed not only Ghana, not only Africa, but really the entire world. Because if all of children's literature in the world is like a mountain, here's children's literature from the United States, children's literature from Asia, and here's children's literature from Africa. Why? So you can be a part of that change.
Very interesting and inspiring what we just saw about the Golden Baobab Prize. Now, she's sitting here right now. Deborah Ahenkrah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we just saw about it, everything about that prize. Now, tell me, what inspired you to start that whole prize?
So it's a bit of a story. I'll tell it. So I love children's literature, and when I was young, I read anything I could get my hands on, and I was really lucky. My mom found this library in Ridge's children's library, and we used to go there, and it had been started by this Canadian woman, Kathy Knowles.
Here in Ghana?
In Ghana, in Ridge. It's still there. And so we'd go to this library, and all the books there were just wondrous, and I absolutely loved them. And I kept thinking someone somewhere in their country in Canada thought about us and sent us these books. That's amazing. If I can ever do something similarly, I'd like to. So that's always been on my mind. And then after high school here, I was lucky to get a scholarship to go to university in the United States. My first year there, I heard about an organization that was shipping books to Ghana, and I thought, perfect, this is my chance to give back. So I immediately started a club on campus, and our goal was to collect donated books and ship them first to Ghana, but then later we kept on getting more and more books. We started shipping to many other countries. So by the time I graduated, we had shipped about 8,000 books.
8,000 books?
To more than 30 countries, and it was phenomenal. But one day we were going through the books, and I came across one book with pictures of a little African girl, and a light bulb just went off in my head that of the thousands of books that we have sent, this is the first one that looks anything like the people that we are sending these stories to.
Wow.
So how is
So
it
it was the
okay?
first African book
It
that
was
you
the
had
first-
seen amidst the
the
8,000.
thousands, yeah. So I kept thinking, how is it okay that a young child in the United States will get up and pick up books that, you know, reflect the experiences, and a young child in Ghana has to,
Or Africa for that matter.
exactly, has to always be reading about other people. It's not okay. And what can we do to start to solve that problem? So I thought about it a while, and I figured that, well, if you can solve the problems why African writers are not writing, and address the issues why publishers aren't publishing, you can begin to nurture an industry that will start to produce its own content. So in my second year of university, I heard about a grant that you could apply for to do anything that you wanted. It was this huge grant. I applied for it. I didn't get it. I was like, oh, bummer. But I still have this proposal that I wrote, so I'm gonna see if I can still do something with it. So I got some other like lesser grants, and I came home the summer, I think, of 2008.
Was it part of the plan to come home from that, or it was one of the things you were doing?
I mean, if I was going to organize an African literary award, it makes sense that I'd have some African sets. I was just home for the summer. I was still in school.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came for the summer, and I needed a summer job. That was my summer job, and I organized the prize, and it did tremendously well. In the first year, we got 76 stories from 9 African countries.
76. How did you advertise and
Guerrilla, man, it was such a hassle. No, for real. So basically, social media helped a lot, but again, I also figured that, you know, prizes are important for how much money they have or the people that they have behind them, and at that point we really didn't have much of either. But I figured that if we can get the most important people in the industry talking about this prize, then it begins to be important. So basically, I went to every top university in the world's African literature website or children's literature website, anything important related to these two fields, and I got email addresses. I had about 500 email addresses.
500.
Yeah, and I basically, at the end of the summer, I emailed them and announced the launch of this prize that will revolutionize African children's literature.
So is it children that then write these?
No, that's
can be
actually
anyone.
a great question. Yeah, so the point is that we want to produce content for children, but anybody can create it. So the prize is open to African citizens of all ages, but we want to encourage young writers too. So we have a special Rising Writer Award that we give to a promising writer below age 18 years.
So how do you determine which stories get to be published?
So every year we line up a selection of, you know, very high expert judges, and we have a judge in handbook, and according to that they select the winning story. So I have like nothing to do with the judging process, actually.
Okay, so you just want to
They select the winning story. So I have like nothing to do with the judging process, actually.
Okay, so you just want to see this dream of yours just come
Yeah.
to fruition, and you just put it together, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
You know, producing books for children, it's really we shouldn't be stumped by something like that. Not in this age.
At all. Now, how long do you expect the stories to be?
So these are short stories, so maximum of 5,000 words. And once they go to the publisher can decide, you know, what they're going to turn it into. So now we've just started with the prize, but my goal now is to build an organization that will be the powerhouse of children's literature in Africa. So we'll be organizing the prize, we'll be organizing writers' workshops, illustrators' workshops, we'll be turning our books into audiobooks, ebooks, etc.
Yeah. How do you think this is going to affect education?
Tremendously. It's like when I started, I was just all about the literature. Oh, let kids read beautiful books. But the more I went into this, the more I realized the amount of research out there that talks about how much children read better when they have access to content that reflects the experiences. So for instance, some kid in like some village somewhere with no electricity who has never seen a refrigerator before is reading a book or a poem about like a snowy winter.
Yeah.
How do you explain to this kid what snow is when you can't even
Then
tell
they
her what
can't.
ice is?
That's
You know, they
true.
can't, like, reading is about nurturing your imagination, but if you cannot connect with what you're reading, what are the likelihood that you'll become a lover of books? So there's just a ton of research that backs that appropriate content impacts education.
Could I write a book for this?
Absolutely.
Oh,
why not? Yeah.
Put my mind.
You may
I'm
win
thinking.
$1,000.
So the prize is, yes. Let's go into the prize. How much?
So we give for now $1,000 and the opportunity, the possibility of being published, and
My own book being published.
Exactly. Not only, I mean, our goal is to see these books everywhere in the world. So we will be your marketing like machine, and we want to see you do well. We want to see these books. We are like the Santa Claus of the children's literature industry. We just want to do good. We just want this industry.
So
to work
say
out.
I submit a really beautiful story and it's selected and it wins the prize and it's published. Do I still then get a certain percentage? Being a business-minded person, I gotta ask this question.
Of course, no, you do. It's your story.
So it's your story, and you sell the books, and the money would come to the person who won the.
Exactly.
Oh.
I mean, it'd be you and the publisher. We'd act as an agent for you, connecting you with the publisher.
Gotcha.
But you'd get what you deserve to get, according to that publishing contract.
So tell me what the process of being a part of this. Well, how do I go about it? And I'm, for my viewers mainly.
So check out our website, goldenbaobab.org.
goldenbaobab.org.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can check that out. It has the rules for submissions, who is eligible, all of that is up there, and you write your story and you email it. The next deadline is June 21st.
Okay, we will have the website on our website, www.thebeboldshow.com, and on our Facebook, of course, www.facebook.com/thebeboldshow. You will get the website on there, so you can find out more about this. So people, when you started this whole prize thing, were there any challenges that you faced, issues that you faced in trying to gather so many, or was it just sailed right off?
I wish I sailed. I wish I was sailing now. No, it's been very difficult because, again, when I started, I was my second year of university, so I was running on passion and like no expertise. Like, what do I know about running a Pan-African prize? But because I believed in it enough, I was willing to go the 10 extra miles it required to find the people who could give me the expertise and the people who could contribute their time to make this work. So that's been difficult. Also, it was a bit of a decision when I graduated, what to do with this prize. So I'd been in school and running it part-time, and was doing incredibly well. I knew if I did it full-time, it'd flourish even more. The question was, I studied political science. My goal was to, go on and do law or whatever. But now here's this prize that is requiring my attention, and which will mean that I have to move back home. Was I willing to make the decision? And I thought that the potential it had to make such an incredible difference was worth my making that personal sacrifice, if it's a personal sacrifice at all, to come back home. And
so you moved back just for this golden Baobab prize.
Yeah.
So this is what you do full time. Wow.
Yeah.
So what were the challenges that you faced with it?
I mean, publishing is a tricky industry, and we're a non-profit, so where am I going to get the money to do this, right? So in the first year we're giving 3 $800 prizes. Guess who had zero money for that?
You.
Exactly. So it was at the end of the competition when I found the stories. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying this. It was after that I literally went around to friends saying, hey, can you give me $1? I need to raise $2,400, and we found the money to make this work. So funding is always a big problem. We're starting up now, so we're looking for sponsors and all of that to support the cause. But one thing that's been really encouraging is just like the recognitions and the support that we've got. So recently I won the Echoing Green Award.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which is very exciting. It's a global recognition for promising social entrepreneurs who are working on ideas that can change the world. I tell you, Crystal, this thing I never dreamed I would ever get, right? Like, people who've got, the person who went to start Teach for America got it, the people who started the African Leadership Academy got it.
Wow.
So,
I do know them.
Right? So these big stars, and someone's like, oh, check it out, Debbie. I was like, whenever I see those emails, I just delete. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna get it, guys. Delete. And so last month I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot. So I applied, and there were 3,000 applicants from all over the world, and guess who made it into the top 15? I know
it was you.
It's really
That's
exciting and very
great.
encouraging, because like such organizations are in the business of identifying good ideas. That's what they do for a living, and they've picked up our idea in our organization and are saying that this is one of the most promising social enterprises in the world. That means a lot.
It does,
Yeah.
and congratulations.
Thank you.
That is amazing.
Very exciting.
Oh, I didn't even know. Like, how did you feel when you got the award?
I did not believe it. So there were different stages. So first there were 3,000 applicants, and then I made it to the semi-finalist. I was like, oh, praise God. This is the end. Like, of course,
This
I'm
is
not
the
going
end.
any further. My mom's like, have faith. I'm like, "Ah, stop with your faith. I'm not going anywhere." And then I made it into the top 40. That's the finalist. And they flew all of us to New York to interview. And that was incredibly intimidating, because I was interviewing these people. I'm telling you, this prize, people I was competing with, I didn't think I'd make it. But then I did. It's a shock. It still is a little bit, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming on the show to share
you
this
so much.
experience with us. And you are doing amazing.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
as I said, it will be on our website, her website, so you can, if you want to write stories for children, let's support this movement. Let's be part of this Being Bold team, and what Deborah is doing is simply phenomenal. Now, this is all I have for you this evening. Thank you for watching Be Bold, and my name is Crystal Jean. Of course, I do have to thank my sponsors, YMX for this beautiful set, Headline Salon for my hair, Accents and Arts for this beautiful furniture, and Kabengo for all my jewelry that you're seeing, Capture for all our pictures that we use on our website that you should definitely go on every time that you want to know more about the Be Bold family. Of course, that's all I have now. Thank you so much once again, and see you again next week.